After the successful launch of UPI and its success thereafter, Government of India is now ready with another innovation. This time it is about the e-commerce industry. We are talking about ONDC, Open Network for Digital Commerce. ONDC is not just going to transform the e-commerce industry, but it has the potential to transform the entire digital ecosystem of the country. Let's explore how this is going to happen.
The government's interoperable open network for digital commerce or ONDC has been launched in Bengaluru for
ये एक ऐसा नेटवर्क है जिस पर छोटे से छोटा और बड़े से बड़ा कारोबारी अपने प्रोडक्ट ग्राहकों को तक पहुंचाएगा। सरकार का मकसद है कि जैसे यूपीआई ने पेमेंट की दुनिया में क्रांति लाई, वैसे ही क्रांति ई-कॉमर्स की दुनिया में आएगी।
Open Network for Digital Commerce is an initiative promoted by the Government of India that aims to provide an open network where goods and services can be exchanged between buyers and sellers. It is based on open network protocols that will be independent of any specific platform. It is basically a marketplace set up to connect buyers, sellers, technology providers, and financiers in a common platform for seamless facilitation of online commerce. Think of it this way. ONDC is like a mega platform where any seller can list themselves, any buyer can place orders with any of the sellers they wish to. And the buyer can then choose the logistics partner for delivery of the order. Put simply, this is democratization of the e-commerce space where no single company can control the listing, the pricing, or delivery of items to the buyers. At present, small retailers are left at the mercy of giant e-commerce platforms such as Amazon and Flipkart for their listing and visibility. Since ONDC is not an e-commerce company, unlike Amazon or Flipkart, any small retailer will be able to list themselves on ONDC without the fear of any platform bias. It is to be noted that ONDC will not just facilitate smaller retailers to list themselves, even giant companies such as Amazon and Flipkart can also list themselves on it. Furthermore, food aggregators such as Zomato and Swiggy, online grocery companies such as Big Basket and Blinkit can also list themselves on it. There are two business models which are being followed in the Indian e-commerce industry at present: the marketplace model and the inventory model. In the marketplace model, the e-commerce company simply acts as a platform to connect independent buyers and sellers. The company takes a commission on every transaction that happens. Contrarily, in the inventory model, the e-commerce company procures products in bulk at cheap rates from different sellers, then stores the product in its inventory and then sells these products to buyers through its website at higher prices. If you compare these two models, the profit margins in the inventory model is much higher than the marketplace model. If a company can undertake efficient demand forecasting and inventory management, the inventory model is a better proposition. However, if you look at the largest e-commerce companies in our country, they run the marketplace model. But the question is, why is that so? If value proposition is better for the inventory model, why do the current e-commerce companies run the marketplace model? This is because in India, foreign direct investment, that is FDI, in retail is allowed only for the marketplace model and not for the inventory model. The two largest e-commerce companies, Amazon and Flipkart, that occupy over 60% of the total e-commerce market in India are both foreign owned. Hence, they cannot run the inventory model. Thus, these companies run the marketplace model where the listing and visibility of independent sellers are completely at the discretion of these two giants. And that is where the problem lies for smaller retailers. These giants, e-commerce companies running the marketplace model, have access to huge amounts of data pertaining to every product on their platform. For instance, these companies know the price points at which an item becomes attractive for buyers, the timing when certain items are mostly searched and sold, the location where an item is mostly in demand, the specific features which an item should have for it to become bestsellers, and so on. Now, various reports have suggested that these e-commerce companies tend to misuse this data for anti-competitive practices. Now, you may wonder, what do these anti-competitive practices look like? These e-commerce companies set up or invest in different firms that act as sellers on these very e-commerce platforms. Since these e-commerce companies have data regarding usage behavior, the firms owned by these very e-commerce companies leverage that data to offer products that they know will become bestsellers quite easily. The products offered by the sellers are listed on the top and are pushed through recommendation engines quite vigorously. This practice discriminates against the smaller retailers who essentially have no means to fight against such anti-competitive practices. In addition, these e-commerce companies also tend to provide favorable treatment by providing superior listings to sellers that have tied up with them. The introduction of ONDC is an attempt to curb such malpractices and provide a level playing arena to the smaller retailers. ONDC is not an e-commerce company. It merely provides a platform where buyers and sellers can interact. ONDC is not owned by any privately owned company. It is set up by the government of India. Hence, ONDC does not have ulterior motive to show any platform bias. Any retailer, be it large or small, has equal opportunity to list themselves, and based on their merit, they will occupy a place in the listing order. Thus, malpractices such as the one I just discussed, the anti-competitive practices, those will not happen within the ambit of ONDC. Though ONDC is hailed as a revolution for the e-commerce space, its success will in fact have far-reaching implications for the entire digital economy of India. That's because ONDC will not just facilitate business for e-commerce players, but even logistics companies, food aggregators, payment companies, and companies from diverse industries can participate in ONDC. This means more options for consumers and better competitive environment for all companies, irrespective of their size and status. Consumers will have a one-stop shop where they can compare prices, choose their own items from any company of their choice, select a delivery partner they wish to, and even pay using any payment gateway they are comfortable with. Thus, the revolution that ONDC will bring forth will not just impact the e-commerce industry, but rather will have enormous impact on the entire digital ecosystem of the country. While ONDC certainly has enormous prospects, its success is certainly not guaranteed yet. There are a lot of challenges that need to be addressed before this initiative can witness the kind of success that UPI has been able to garner. To begin with, ONDC is quite revolutionary for the sellers, but for buyers it really does not matter who is selling them until what they purchase is worth the value. The established e-commerce platforms have already generated trust among the buyers. With deep discounting, efficient services, and timely return policies, these companies already occupy the top slots in any buyer's consideration set. For ONDC to catch up with these e-commerce firms will certainly be a mammoth challenge. Next, though it is quite certain that there would be no platform bias against smaller retailers or SMEs on ONDC, yet it does not mean that small retailers or SMEs will have it easy on ONDC. They will still have to compete among themselves and with giant companies to gain superior listing. To deal with listing challenges, usually platforms build algorithms that tend to rely on customer reviews, pricings, etc. to provide superior listing to a given seller over another. But this very aspect may put smaller retailers at a disadvantage, since bigger players tend to have the resources to play around the algorithm of any platform. So encountering the disadvantage that smaller retailers would face is going to be a big challenge for ONDC. There are multiple challenges that need to be dealt with. Nevertheless, with some of the brightest minds like Mr. Nandan Nilekani and Mr. Thomas Koshi leading this project, we can certainly be hopeful of yet another revolutionary innovation that may be coming out of India. The world certainly is watching.